We're back.
Var, you're sounding like a helium balloon. Just kind of like floating around. Wow, that's
going,
exciting.
guys?
This is...
It's going to be a fantastic episode. How you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Man, I'm
all-
so good.
It's like
Feel
the
good.
OG
Back
crew,
in
back
mask,
again.
back
you know?
in the swing.
This is the OG crew. Well, I don't know if it's the OG crew, but it's been a long time since I've been on a book club.
It's
Been
the
like-
OG book club crew, I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure
I'm
it's
pretty sure
us four.
we were the-
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is absolutely fantastic, then.
Yeah.
And I think I've been in...
This is good. This is really good.
There were a couple episodes you hosted, Mesto, that weren't ever uploaded. Was there ever an episode that you hosted that was uploaded?
No.
Nope, not
No,
a one.
okay, so I have been in every single
You
one.
have been in
then.
every single one. I've been in every single one except for the last one because of our scheduling conflicts we've been having recently.
Alright, well, anyway, what's up, everybody? This is BioTalk Book Club. Are you guys ready to discuss chapters or read chapter by chapter with us? Because we're about to read the book, Revenge of the Skull Spiders. In today's chapter, it is... Which chapter is this? The Skull Spiders Attack?
Yep.
Yes.
Skull Spiders Attack.
Chapter
So,
two.
chapter 2, The Skull Spiders Attack. So, before we get too far into this, I'm Var.
I'm Mesa.
I'm LJ.
I'm Kahi.
And this is BioTalk Book Club. Alright, everybody, are we ready to get straight into this chapter?
No, I'm not ready. Sorry. No, yeah.
Alright, well, I'll give you some
Alright.
I'll give you some time. I'll give
We'll wait for
you
it.
10 seconds.
I'm ready. I was just joking.
Boom. I'm done, Var.
10.
I'm all caught up.
9,
I don't need the full
8,
10 seconds. Come on.
7,
man. No, I'm
6,
fine.
5, 4. This is what you do when you have a joke. It costs the show good, valuable time.
Good grief.
All right, now back to the story. So, as I said before, this is a chapter-by-chapter discussion. What we're going to do is we're going to be looking at Revenge of the Skull Spiders. New chapter every single week, and
Nice
you're going to
save.
read along with us as we read this chapter. Although I feel like everybody here has already read the entirety of the book except for me and Kai. So
Yeah, I'm doing it chapter
You
by
know it.
chapter.
Basically, like,
legitimately
half the
reading it
cast.
that way.
you're doing it the way we're supposed to be doing it.
Right, exactly.
So
Look, if we had started book club the day the book came out and recorded all 6 episodes in bulk, I would have done it that way. But we did not do that, so I'm not going to do it that way.
you wanted to record all
And
6 episodes in bulk. So let me get this straight. You wanted to sit down, read a chapter, record an episode, stop recording, read another chapter, record an episode, and keep doing that all in one day.
Yeah,
You're
that would've been
crazy.
great.
If not all in one day, all in 1 week. Yeah, that would have worked out great.
You guys are stupid. That's not ever going to happen. So don't
Well,
read the
then,
book all in one day.
then it's not going to ever happen with me reading it chapter by
All
chapter.
right, well then, good to know you guys are not allowed in book club anymore after this. Gotcha.
We have enough
It's not
to
like that was ever a mandate.
Well, it is now,
we have enough to
Meso.
what?
It is now. That's what I was trying to say.
Anyway. Yeah, that is now a rule, so you're not allowed. Anyway. No more OG crew ever again.
Hey, Meso. Hey, Meso.
Hi, LJ, what's going on?
Okay, next time let's just tell them we've only read one chapter, okay? That way we can sneak on.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Anyway, so to the actual chapter itself.
Yeah, here we go.
In this chapter, we pick up from where we left off after the protectors had defeated the Skull Spiders, and we're kind of like lolling about around outside the city of the Mask Makers. And then they heard a big explosion, a big boom, and suddenly the bridge collapsed inwards into the chasm around the city. And everyone's like, "Oh, maybe we should actually worry about that because, that's not good." And then Korgo is like, "Well, I think that might have been a newest hammer." And they're all like, "Nah, that was some kind of explosion, am I right?" And Korgo's like, "Nah, that was definitely a newest hammer." So they're like, "Okay, well, we should probably go in there. I guess there's more people outside or attacking the city outside of just loss. There's probably more things are fighting." So they're like, "Okay, well, we gotta get to the city now. How exactly do we get to the city? The bridge just got destroyed." And then Mizuna's all like, don't worry, guys. I got it covered. See, I knew this gal back in the day, right? And she was pretty cool. She found some awesome architecture back there in the city underneath the chasm. And there were some reliefs, which if you don't know, reliefs are like carvings, carved paintings.
Like relics.
Well, not relics. They're like art.
Yeah.
Separate thing.
There's different.
Yeah, wall relics.
Yeah. It's like art carvings. And so this gal named Havali discovered these reliefs and was like, man, this is some really important stuff. Look at this. This looks like the elemental creatures.
Dun, dun,
Dun, dun, dun.
I remember her going like,
So
"It
she's like, man, this is
belongs in a
some-
museum." Like, throwing it
Yeah,
down, like running
it
through
was
the
like
temple,
it belongs
you know?
in a museum. She was like, "Oh, we got to do something about this. We got to get all the rest of the villagers to see this." So she's like, "All right, guys, I am going to construct a bridge because for reasons, I guess, to bridge straight to the reliefs, I guess, instead of just straight to the city."
Yeah, I thought it was a convenience.
It was a little convenient, I guess. Well, for convenience, get you. Anyway, so she constructed a bridge. And Vizuna went down there with her and helped her out with this. So he was aware, for those unaware, that Vizuna is the protector of jungle.
Yep.
So Vizuna was aware of this bridge and the location of it and the location of the reliefs. Unfortunately, Havali disappeared. Who knows what happened to her? She got X'd out. I don't know. She disappeared, got taken by the skull spiders, and they're like, well, darn. But Vizuna still knows where the reliefs are and the bridge that Havali made. So, he leads the rest of the protectors down to where the bridge is, and they see it, and they're like, ooh, this thing is kind of shoddy looking. There's some vines here that are like roped up into this thing, and they're kind of rotting away, and it doesn't look very safe. It's like a really unsafe drawbridge. If you've seen like cartoons, you've probably seen like what this looks like.
Yeah.
A rope bridge across a cavern or something that kind of swings back and forth. So it doesn't look very safe. So Vizuna's like, okay, we'll take 3 protectors across the bridge with me. I'm gonna take Korga because she's awesome. And Izator. And yeah. So Izator, Korgo, and Vizuna cross the bridge. The rest of the protectors stay behind. And as they're crossing the bridge, they notice, it's shaking. What's happening? The bridge is starting to shake. Is it the wind? And then suddenly, boom, vultures out of the cavern.
Yeah, I liked that. I really liked that.
I thought that was really clever.
Yeah.
Vulture.
Nice little building anticipation. Also, we know like there's wildlife out there in Okoto
Yeah, that's
that we
what I
didn't really know about before.
That's what I liked about it.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So vultures fly around. They're like, do vultures like attack prey that's not dead already? And like, I think Vizuna was one that said, yeah, sometimes when they're hungry. And they're like, well, I just hope he just ate a meal or something because we do not want to die. So the vultures fly around. They kind of disappear into the clouds, and they notice that the bridge is still kind of shaking. They're like, what's going on? What's happening? And out in the distance, on the other side of the bridge, through the fog, they see the shape of a skull spider crawl out.
There we go.
And then he's joined by like 4 others, and 5 skull spiders are crawling out of this fog at them, and they're like, oh, now this is what we were worried about.
Yeah.
So like, skull spiders, the guys, we gotta attack these things. And so they all like, kind of have this formation. I think, Korgo goes on the right and like Izator goes on the left or something. And they're like, they start shooting at these skull spiders, but they gotta be careful not to damage the bridge. And there's this big conflict, big epic battle. Things start to get out of hand. More skull spiders start appearing. They start dropping from the sky and like climbing down the ropes and this kind of thing. And like, there's just waves of skull spiders, and they start to become overrun. And they're like, oh no, what are we gonna do? And then the rest of the 3 protectors come to save the day.
Hey.
They run down the bridge, and they're like, don't worry guys, we got your back. And they start like shooting at the skull spiders, and all the skull spiders fall. And let's see, how does this chapter actually end?
They have like a little bit where they're like, oh, Loss is down there, and the skull spiders find him, and they're like, we must get revenge.
Well, I meant like, how did the conflict itself
Don't they
end?
cut down they get across the bridge, and then they cut the vines, and the bridge falls, and they're like, well, how are we gonna get back across?
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, then they're kind of like, oh, what's happening? Oh, how are we gonna get back? I don't know. Let's just get back. Find the Toa. So that's what happens. But then down below, Meso kind of skips straight to the end. But down below, the Skull Spiders who had previously fallen off the bridge during the conflict find Loss. And lo and behold, as speculated before, because the Toa were too stupid to check on him, Loss did not die from the fight. He is still alive. He's still down there, and he's hurt, and he's kind of unconscious. And the Skull Spiders that fall off the bridge, they see him, and they're like, rage-induced. It turns good spiders cruel. Yeah, so they go over there. They pick up Loss, and they bring him to a place, or back into the city, I think they said.
They like drag him into underground caves.
Okay, yeah, they drag him into somewhere so that he can rest and heal up, and like they're gonna help him out. And the Skull Spiders are ready to enact their revenge.
Yeah.
Now, cue credits.
Title drop.
Yeah. It's this little section, I think, is the most interesting part of the whole chapter, because it does answer a few questions. We know Loss is still alive. That's one thing. We know the Skull Spiders are somewhat sentient. They can act on their own without Loss controlling them or using the golden mask of the Skull Spiders, which doesn't seem to exist at all.
Rip that.
Yeah, rip that whole concept. So Skull Spiders are sentient. They seem to be able to act on their own. And the title of the book, Revenge of the Skull Spiders, is quite literally the revenge of the Skull Spiders.
Pretty shocking plot twist. I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was going to be the story. So yeah, those are the three interesting tidbits, I guess. There.
I like Carvalho. I like that. Being an archaeologist is kind of a job, you know. That, or like a hobby that somebody has, and that like a protector has. That's a good insight into a character that I actually kind of want to see. Right now, I'm kind of imagining Carvalho with like the fedora and a whip, and like running across like a giant round Lord of Skull Spiders who's like rolling down this giant cavern to get to it. But even still, I think it's a great Carvalho Jones. I think that's like a TV show waiting to happen. I don't know, we're bothering with Journey to One, where they could do Carvalho Jones and the Temple of the Skull Spiders.
I'd watch that, and like
the Temple of the Golden Skull.
Yeah, it's the Gold Skull Spider mask.
She grabs it and she tries to put like another mask in it, like a protector mask, and it like slowly sinks.
Amazing,
very funny. Seems like a great idea.
Incredible. I do want to see this be a thing now.
Let's make it happen. Carvalho Jones.
I know what my sketch for today is.
Yeah.
My thing is, I'm kind of glad that I have no clue, like, what element or Harvali or Calvali is. Like, she could be anything. She's not just a God Matord or God Protector.
It doesn't it say in this chapter? Because it's like she's friends with Vizuna, who's the protector of the jungle tribe.
That doesn't necessarily mean she's a jungle protector.
So,
I don't know if it actually says it or not. I don't have it on hand.
It very well could be because she made a bridge out of mines, but
that's true, huh?
So like,
it's possible.
It always says she's from a nearby village, experienced mountain climber and an archaeologist. So
if she's,
I mean, Vizuna traveled with her.
What did it say?
Yeah, no. If she's from a nearby village, then she's protector of jungle.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I would put my money on her being a protector of jungle.
Villager.
They're not
villager. They're not protectors.
What do we call these inhabitants that aren't actually protectors?
Villagers or Okoshans.
Okoshans.
Yeah, she's an Okoshan of jungle.
Yeah, Okotoan. Okoshan. Okay, Okoshan.
Apparently the new website actually uses that term, but they spell it like Okotoan, which like Okotoan.
That's what I was saying. So because I saw it on the site, but sure.
So
okay. Okoshan.
Okotoa.
Okotowans. Okay, Okotowans doesn't sound that bad.
Okay.
It's a little heavier on the word
Okotowans.
usage there, or the syllable usage, but whatever.
I'm gonna keep the I in there for my personal sake.
Well, yeah, because like an Ukatolan of jungle does sound, it doesn't really roll off the tongue very well, but an Okoshin of jungle does. Yeah. Anyway, she's an Okoshin of jungle. It's really cool that we now have 2 female characters. Neither of them are water-based, so... I wonder if Carvalli is going to play a role in this at any point later down the line.
I don't know. I kind of hope so. I kind of hope they're building up her character.
I hope so too, because they seem to really kind of build.
She's been gone for a year.
They seem to kind of really build up the fact that she's gone missing.
Right. Well, it's a big deal,
you know. But it's been a while that she's gone missing, hasn't it?
They mentioned like a year.
Okay, yeah, it's been a year. That's a long time for a person to be missing.
Okay, listen, we know you guys have read the book. Just let me and Var have our speculative fun.
Well, I'm trying to speculate with you. I'm trying to be helpful.
No, you're not. You're not speculating at all.
Yeah, you know the answers. That's why this is no fun. I can't speculate because you already know.
Right.
But wait, what?
But I know that you know. You don't have to explicitly say anything. Just saying anything is already like enough. You've already ruined the suspense of it because it either happened or it didn't happen, and you're playing around as though it happened or not. Just
man, you guys are kind of.
You read the book. Anyway,
yeah. Why would you?
I mean,
stupid.
Yeah, you guys are stupid. Let's do our own book club.
Stupid. I said this is stupid.
Oh,
it's stupid because you read the book. Anyway, yeah, so that'd be really cool to see Harvali pop up again, because it does seem like they're kind of building up this like sort of idea about her being missing and that kind of thing. So, we'll see. Another thing, interesting creatures are being mentioned this early in chapter 2. That's kind of cool. So I wonder what the backstory of that is, because it does seem like the Protectors weren't really surprised by the fact that there are elemental creatures or anything. Like Naramoto kind of just tosses it off, or Vizuna kind of just like mentions it, like, oh yeah, it's a relief of the elemental creatures, those guys. So I wonder how that will be introduced or have a role in this. But it does seem like they're also kind of setting those roots to sort of bring in the creatures as well, kind of setting that up. So
yeah,
makes sense.
Definitely some interesting stuff. I'm very curious to see how this plays out. I want to know if
I'm glad that this is following the Protectors. I like that they're doing the parallel thing where like the Toa are fighting, you know, and it's also the Protectors' view while they're, you know, fighting, and you know, it's like a parallel chapter in this book where we see what the Protectors are actually doing while the Toa are doing their whole thing in the last book.
That's what I like most about the book. It serves as a parallel story, fleshing things out.
Yeah. It gives us a bit more insight in the culture and the lore and the whole world around us too. Not just the A to B point story. More like the A to A.2 to 8.5 that to be kind of thing. What I really want to know though is whether Loss is actually like related to, or not related, but like, you know, if he's actually working for Makuta and is in the same team as the Skull Villains, and whether Umarak is also in the same team, or if this is kind of all just coincidence and they're just a bunch of bad guys who happen to be attacking at once.
Well, the website answers the Umarak question. Yeah, Umarak was a being that was created when Okoto came into existence, forged from the shadows themselves, with the sole purpose to hunt down the creatures and capture them.
So, technically speaking, Umarak is also a creature, just a shadow?
Technically, no relation to Makuta at all.
That's an odd thing. Alright, cool.
I'm kind of much prefer that world.
I mean, that's interesting, but like, yeah, now I don't know, like, what is actually, like, what is that? Like, he was created when the island was formed? That means he's an ancient being as well?
Yep, alongside the creatures who were also created when Okoto was formed.
So why the heck would he be created to, like,
so
hunt
was it like
creatures?
Okoto originally like a zoo? Yeah, why is he... why is he creating?
Yeah, like what is this?
Creatures were like.
Well, it's meant to be a duality thing. Ninjago had a similar thing because like light must have the polar opposite in shadow. Ninjago did a thing where like the main island also had a dark island counterpart, and with this, it's like okay, so the 6 creatures form the elemental aspects of the island. Each one inhabits a part of Okoto's geography and also its elemental properties. And then there's the 7th element of shadow, which balances everything out, and that is Umarak, his representation.
But it's not like light and shadow are meant to like fight each other for the end of time. Umarak is literally meant to kill all the creatures.
Yeah.
Like, they created the creatures and they created one person to kill all of them immediately.
What created them? What?
I guess
I don't know.
That's actually one of the big mysteries.
And why is Umarak just showing up now? Has he always been around? Has this been like a constant thing? This is weird.
That is the assumption, yes.
Why are we asking these questions? It's not in the book.
So you know then? You know it's not in the book?
No, it's...
I mean, it's not in the chapter. It's what I meant to say.
So wait, you just decided to like stump our discussion about relevant Bionicle story lore that could or could not be answered in this book because it's not in this chapter? That's the whole point of doing a freaking chapter by chapter discussion! Is to try and understand where the book is going!
So...
Freaking idiot!
I'm face-palming so hard right now.
God! This is why you don't read the book!
This is a flawed concept.
This is not a flawed concept at all. Anyway.
Nobody in our audience is going to prefer this. Let's gauge feedback.
My God, we're going to have to talk about this after this, because this is annoying me.
Yep.
Anyway.
Likewise.
So yes, that basically wraps up chapter 2. So.
It was a good chapter. I
let's hear your thoughts.
Basically, my thoughts pretty much boil down to I like the inclusion of named characters, so Harvali's cool. I like the introduction of Rahi-esque animals. That's pretty cool. Loss isn't dead. Thumbs up from me. Protectors doing fun, exciting things and getting to show that they may not be as strong as the Toa, they may not be able to actually be main characters, but I like that they're not just throwing the Protectors away. I like that they have this book dedicated to them. It fleshes out their personalities a little bit more, even if they're not crazy distinct or whatever. And this chapter in particular, they had a really nice fight scene on the bridge. They got to do cool stuff. I thoroughly liked this chapter. It was really nice.
Okay, Elgin.
Okay, well, I thought my favorite part about this chapter was Umarak. I thought, like, the inclusion of the Shadow Chaps was really neat. And it was kind of interesting seeing how that story was... Oh, wait, never mind. Anyway. No, I liked it. I liked the chapter. One thing that kind of perturbs me, like, I like the inclusion of the new names and the name of Harvali. Not a big fan of her not having a set. So it's like, I get it. It's a whole visualization thing. You gotta kind of make it up in your head. Oh, what could she have looked like? What is she like? So on and so forth. But it's like... That's a name you could have used for a set. Like, you know, the creatures, for instance.
I hope that we get a set for every single named character in this book now. Just to soothe that complaint.
Well, I mean,
yes.
It's a bit of the dichotomy between this gen and last gen, because last gen had Monog, so a lot of the named characters that never got sets got to show up in a visual media through that game. We don't have that this time around, so both Bingzak and Harvali, you know, they're just kind of, they're there to flesh out the world. They're not there to be main characters or to get sets.
How interesting is that like both Harvali and Bingzak, the two, like, you know, not showing characters that don't show up, they're also in jungle.
That is interesting. That's very interesting.
They're really pulling from the jungle pile.
Yeah,
they should
team up. I feel like they're all pulling up together. Can you imagine like Harvali and like Bingzak is like short round? You know,
they should team up and become like the team that doesn't show up anywhere, and they should go hunt down the golden mask of the Skull Spiders.
Which they're also like the people that like.
Yeah, but no. I like the chapter. It's action-packed, and I really appreciate that. It was very entertaining. So that was really nice. And Loss, Var, you said earlier that the Toa were stupid for not checking on Loss. I don't think it's necessarily that they were stupid. It's just I don't think anyone wanted to go down a giant chasm all the way to the bottom to check on somebody they just shoved down there.
And I quote, "There's still evil in the air." So why would the Toa not go down as their duty dictates to destroy evil from terrorizing the island? Because they're lazy?
They should change their goal to we are here to push evil down.
Yeah, and just let evil continue to survive on our island and continue to terrorize everybody.
Let evil continue to fester.
What?
I mean, it's not like they were talking about loss. They were talking about
They
the
don't
skull
know who
villains,
they were talking about. They felt
were
evil in the air, and they didn't check on the one evil person that they know is actually harming the civilians. They don't know anything about the skull villains or Makuta.
It's a thing.
Well, yeah, because the Toa were on a mission to get Akimu. They weren't down to go check on Lost and give him a
They
Band-Aid.
need to save the protectors from what they know.
How hot to even?
What, Messa?
No, I mean, I was just
From what they know, Lost is the whole reason the island is even in any trouble at all.
Pohatu did make the comment that now that Lost has been defeated, all the Matoran, my bad, all the villagers under his control have been freed. And now it's
That's clearly not the case.
If Lost just got knocked unconscious, when he wakes up, do they get put back under control?
They just left.
Like,
they didn't.
And it's even more strange now that we know that skull spiders can act independently and they're not actually controlled by Lost. Because so Lost got knocked out, the skull spiders on their faces, like all the Matoran. I did it again! Hate this! All the villager slaves or whatever that have skull spiders on their faces, are they just freed too? How does that work?
That's exactly it. It's the Toa are either too stupid to have realized they should have checked on Lost, or they're just too lazy to have done it. Like, I understand their main goal is to get Akimu, but, like, the whole reason they were brought to the island was to stop the island from being taken over by skull spiders. The logical thing to do is to actually confirm whether you just beat the main villain or not.
Yeah.
Well, in their defense, they don't know that he is called the Lord of Skull Spiders.
They do. They absolutely do know that.
Technically, they do.
Yeah, Pohatu literally was like, Lord of Skull Spiders.
They know that, absolutely.
Can't outrun him.
They know that this is the guy in control of the skull spiders.
All right, in that case, that was my only defense for him, and fell flat on its face. So
then again, we also don't know what the Toa code is, if that exists.
They
don't
remember if there is a Toa code or not. So at this point, there's no reason to not kill Loss.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's a really, really stupid thing the Toa have done. So they're stupid or lazy.
It's like the protectors are coming to, like, clean up the Toa.
Right. It's like the Toa clearly didn't finish the job, because now the protectors have to clean up the mess.
Obviously enough, I'm glad we still have someone fight in the book. I'm glad there is a conflict. I'm glad that this has taken care of two main things regarding the skull spiders. One, that the spiders have a form of sentience. And two, we've finally done away with that pesky golden mask of the skull spiders and whether or not it exists. Plot twist, at least in this chapter,
I'm very upset about that mask. One day, I will find out what happened with it.
So, I mean, here's the thing, though. Here's the deal. We know the massive skull spider is not going to show up at all, right? You're still disappointed, Meso. Would you be disappointed if it showed up later in the chapter? No, but we know you've read the book, so we can deduce
Or
that.
he's just putting on a show, and it does show up later on in the book.
He could also be putting off a show. If it is, then, hey, cool.
See, this is why I don't get you two, because, like, neither of us have said anything.
It's called deduction.
Deduction!
Thank you, Phoenix Wright. Your deduction is on point.
But no, it's a thing.
It's a thing.
All right. What do you think of the chapter, Kai?
I thought that it was pretty well done. The action is very well described. I think the big thing, the big problem I have with this chapter is that it suffers from the characters having what I like to refer to as exposition accent, which is an accent that people have in books where all they do is do, like, exposition. So we're like, hey, Var, want to get on Skype? Sure, I can get on Skype. I know that Skype was developed by Microsoft and that we use it as a tool of communication. Why does he need it? I don't get me wrong. Really excited to find out about Harvali. Really excited to find out more about history. It's just the way it's conveyed sometimes just feels like they're like, yeah, I'm explaining everything to you guys, even though I've known you for years and worked with you for years.
Well, so, I mean, to be fair, we know none of the detectors actually work with each other for years. They live in districts that are very far apart, and they only convene every once or so.
We don't even know how long they've been protectors.
Yeah, we don't know how long they've been protectors. We don't know how often they actually meet up. We know it's not a lot, and we know it's in between long periods of time. So, yeah, it does make sense that they wouldn't know Harvali, especially if Harvali is a villager of jungle. It would make sense that only Vizuna knows her. So,
I guess it's not so much the fact, going into this is just a theme that I've seen throughout the last chapter and this chapter is that the characters just don't sound distinct to me. They all sound like they're the same person talking, through different names.
I don't think I would agree to that.
You know what I'm saying?
I think at this point in time, I feel like they kind of sound they've got personalities starting to brew. We haven't really spent enough time with them to actually get to that, but it seems like Korgo and Vizuna have this kind of cheeky relationship going on here where they've got some kind of history, that kind of thing. And Izator is this kind of stoic, yeah, I can handle anything because I'm Izator. So that's what I've gotten so far. Out of those three characters we've spent the most time with, I feel like they've got some kind of personality. And it's only chapter 2, so we'll see.
I still don't feel that through the dialogue, but I don't agree with you. Stoic. But granted, I'll see how it turns out in the later chapters. This is only chapter 2.
Speaking of Korgo and Vizuna, have you guys touched upon that thing where Korgo, they're on the bridge? Korgo's like, Vizuna.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of hinting at with the cheeky relationship kind of thing. It seemed like they have got some sort of history or something. I don't know what that's.
I'd say they're decently distinct.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
So far, at least.
That is basically that's not. That is stuff that's related to them, but it's not shown. How do I say it? The dialogue doesn't sound different. It's it doesn't sound different.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I get what you're trying to say. I just don't agree with what you're saying.
Right. Okay. So, but you do get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. No, you can disagree with it. I'm just saying that, all right, yes, you understand where I'm coming from. Or what I mean by this, not necessarily where I'm coming from. There was, other than that, yeah, pretty much good. I did mention to Messa beforehand, I was like, if we named these book club episodes, I would definitely campaign for this to be named "Beware My Censor Tail," because that's how Vizuna refers to his tail.
I would love that so much.
As his censor tail.
But it doesn't make any sense. He's got multiple tails, not one. Why do they refer to it as one tail? It doesn't make any sense at all.
I don't know.
So funny. So funny.
It would totally be named Harvali Jones now.
Hello, Pot. That's me, Kettle. Anyhow.
How you doing? Hey. All right, we should grab lunch sometime.
I know. I was,
Your snark doesn't even make any sense at this point. Just stop. It was a fine chapter. I don't really have much to say about it. We'll see what happens next time. So that wraps up book club.
Amazing. Slow clap. Moderately fast clap.
That was
moderately
You're the
fast
best.
clap.
Look at the OG crew.
It was a good chapter.
Sure,
it was a good chapter.
It was a good chapter.
I thought the dialogue was fine. I thought this is leagues better than the crappy book we got last time. And where the characters don't feel like they're just spewing one-liners. I feel like they actually are interacting with each other. They're actually saying important things, whether that sounds like exposition or not. And they're actually doing something that seems interesting. And they're exploring areas that need to be explored and talking about things that should have been talked about and doing things that should have been done. All the things that I wish the Toa had done in the last book. So I think this chapter is heading in the right direction. Really curious to see what else the book has to offer. I want to learn more about these creatures. So, we'll see what happens. I will say it was a little weird that the Skull Spiders are actually enacting revenge. I didn't think the title of the book would be that literal. But
no, yeah,
right.
It was a little interesting,
a little weird, but we'll see. So yeah, wow, it's just weird. Why are spiders mad? They're spiders
because the boss got wrecked.
I don't know.
They're like, oh, my dad got wrecked. Let's go take him down.
But it's just like the spiders revenge.
But how did they know who wrecked him? How
can a spider enact revenge?
Can you imagine like Bambi hunting down hunters, like ramming him with his horns and stuff?
It's like weird.
My name is Bambi. You killed my mother. Prepare to die.
Well, the skull spiders are weird. Let's be real. They're a poorly conceived, poorly explained, villainous force.
I don't know. Whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Oh, that was chapter
Cool
2.
Chapter. They really liked it.
It was pretty good. It was a good chapter. This book is so much better than the last one. I'm only 2 chapters in.
This chapter met all of my quota for like what constitutes a good chapter. There's like new name, check. New animal, check. Not funny dialogue, but good dialogue, check. Fight scene, check. Lost, check. Boom, good
World
chapter.
building, check.
Love it.
New location.
World building, yeah.
New
Lost,
location.
Check. 2 thumbs up out of 10.
Location. New job title?
2016 foreshadowing. It had like everything.
This was a really good chapter. It had everything. So I hope it keeps this up.
I like it.
I like that
attitude too. We will.
Good chapter. I like it.
Good chapter. We'll see you guys next week on BioTalk.
Yeah, farewell.
We're going to be discussing chapter 3. Anyone know the name of it?
No.
Yeah, this. Yep.
Chapter 3. It's
Is that
called
really
chapter
it?
3. No.
It's called The Mysterious Cave.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna flip back, but I remembered. Oh, I have it on digital, so I just tapped the table contents button.
Amazing.
All right.
Join
us next week for chapter 3, The Mysterious Cave. We'll see you guys next time.
Also, check us out on Vessel for the video portion of this book that you're watching on YouTube. You haven't seen our beautiful faces.
Man, that way you'll get a reason for why I sound
you can
like this.
look at our beautiful faces and LJ's beautiful not face.
What are you talking about, LJ? I thought you were sick.
Yeah, you made this massive.
Listen, I've been making faces at the camera like this entire while you were doing that recap. I was just kind of like,
LJ, I called your not face beautiful, so yeah, I know I made it. It's beautiful. It's your not face. I mean, it's not a compliment of you. It's a compliment of myself. Let's be real here.
Yeah, but you're still the best.
That's great.
Var.
Goodbye, everybody. I'm Var.
Farewell. I'm Mesa.
I'm LJ.
And I'm Kahi.
Bye-bye.
See ya, everybody.